What is up, YouTube? Fury here, bringing you guys a brand new video, and in today's video I'm be going over the updates and patch notes that came out on Infinite Warfare yesterday, February 6th. Now they dropped these later in the day because I personally did not see any updates when I was playing yesterday. But in today's video, I'm going to be going over the updates and patches, like I said, that came out yesterday. Now, if you guys enjoyed, drop a like. If you guys are new, don't forget to hit the subscribe button. I'd greatly appreciate it. Helps the channel grow. Join the Fury gang, all that good stuff. But yeah, let's jump right into the updates. Now, jumping into the patches here, I will also leave a link in the description down below if you guys want to check them out yourself. But the first thing on the list here they have is various exploit fixes. Now, they don't obviously mention what they fixed, but any exploit fixes there are, I'm completely down for, because we want the game as perfect as we can get it, man. Now, also jumping into the first of multiple weapons that got fixed or patched. Some nerfed, some buffed, but the first one here on the list is the Thunderstruck. Now, obviously, the Thunderstruck has been getting a bunch of hate for how powerful it is, so they finally took it into their hands to nerf this thing. So the first thing they did for the Thunderstruck is they adjusted the damage so more pellets will be needed to land to score a kill at all ranges. So you're not going to be getting the same amount of kills at range. This thing had some decent range to it. And also right here, one-shot kills are possible, but at shorter ranges than before. Longer range kills that were possible before will now not be lethal without firing another burst. So those long-range kills that you'd be getting with the Thunderstruck previously will not be happening anymore. You gotta at least put 2 bursts into them, which is good because this thing, it seemed like at most ranges would just get 1 burst off and you just annihilate the enemy. So they fixed that, so you're putting more shots into a guy at more ranges, obviously, which makes sense. But before this patch, that was definitely not the case. So next for the Thunderstruck, it mentions here hipfire will now cause a large kickback that will make it harder to land successive shots during a burst. And also ADS kick has been adjusted, but will still have more control than hipfire. So hipfire is going to be crazy recoil, I'm assuming. Obviously, I'm going to give all these guns a try in a video and show you guys how they are after the nerf buff, whatever they got. But now apparently the hipfire is going to be doing some bad recoil, man. So you're not going to be hitting every shot with the hipfire on the Thunderstruck. And then obviously ADS kick has been bumped up as well, but a little bit better than the hipfire, which makes sense because obviously when you're ADS you want to be more accurate. So for them to bump that kick a little bit on the ADS isn't too big of a deal. But again, who's going to be ADSing with the Thunderstruck? Most people did use it hipfire regardless, so that is why they implemented that harder kick for that. But they'll basically do it for the Thunderstruck. Next on the list here for weapons, we got the Honeybee. They lowered the difference in fire rate between ADS and hipfire, and they both got changed. So the fire rate in the ADS and the fire rate in the hipfire both got changed. Now, it was like the Chaos where the hipfire did a little bit more rate of fire, I believe. So I'm guessing they either bumped the hipfire a little bit and lowered the ADS. So the change is a little bit different, or they either bumped the ADS and lowered the hipfire speed. So either way, they didn't mention which way they did, but they both got changed somehow. Next weapon we have on the list here is the Recruit, which is also an MV4 variant, epic variant that they came out with. Here it says single fire mode has been updated with a slower rate of fire but a higher potential to be lethal. Headshots and to a lesser extent torso shots now have built-in bonuses only in single fire mode. So that means their single fire mode has been getting a little bit better, slower fire rate, but your headshots and your more damage each bullet that is coming out for only the single fire mode. So if you guys are using the single fire mode on the Recruit, it's going to be a little bit better for you guys. But they also, next here on the list, they mentioned that the hollow point is now disabled since the weapon has a better built-in version of it. So you're going to be getting more damage out of this thing in single fire mode, but you can't be putting hollow point on it because they did bump the headshot and torso damage bonuses. So that is why they took hollow point out, which isn't bad because when I was using this Recruit in single mode, it was not the best for me. Obviously, you're going to be doing better if you do have an elo sight and you only strictly want to use the single fire mode. If you're using the sight that they give you and you're switching back between single and fully auto, the single fire mode is a little bit difficult because that zoom in on the scope they give you. But again, this thing is going to be a little bit better if you do use the single fire mode rather than the fully auto. So as well as removing hollow point, they also adjusted the view kickback with the single fire mode. So basically everything they did for the recruit here is only for the single fire mode, which isn't bad because the single fire mode needed some adjustments, I'd say. So this is definitely a good buff and a nerf technically for the recruit. Next on the list here we have the fire bug. First thing they mention is kills from fire should happen a little more frequently than before, though they still won't be the primary method of death, which is huge because when I use this thing you had to be super close to be able to one pump, and even when you one pump, that fire was not going to be doing damage. It's mostly the pellets that killed you from the shot. So you're going to be able to do more kills with the fire, so people are going to burn for a little bit longer, not burn for a little bit longer, but that burning is going to do a little bit more damage than before. But they did mention that it still won't be the primary method of death, which is also still good because you don't want this thing to do insane damage like the incinerator shots from World War II. So they just bumped up a little bit the flame damage from this one. Now as well as that, they adjusted the ranges so that enemies can be tagged with fire damage from further out to soften targets for follow-up shots, which is really good. So like I mentioned, they're going to be doing a little bit more damage at range, and people are going to be a little bit tagged up from the previous shot, which is good because sometimes this thing would take 2, 3, 4 shots sometimes to kill people at range, and it didn't make sense because they were burning, but they weren't because of the burns weren't, the fire wasn't even doing that much damage. Now the last thing for the fire bug here, they mentioned they added blast shield protection for the fire bug's fire damage. Damage is greatly reduced. So I don't know entirely what that means. I'm assuming that blast shield will protect you from the firebug's fire damage. That would make the most sense to me. If I'm completely wrong, let me know in the comment section down below, but I'm assuming if you have blast shield on, the firebug won't be doing as much fire damage, which is hence it says damage greatly reduced. So that's what I'm assuming, and I'm assuming from that you can only get kills from the pellets, but again, I'm not completely sure, but that will do it for the firebug. And last but not least, the last weapon they ended up patching, or nerfing I should say, is the Proteus JAEGER. Unfortunately, but fortunately, because this thing definitely needed a nerf. This thing was insanely overpowered, just like the Thunderstruck. But the fix that they did here, they fixed a bug that prevented weapon mode from being retained through death. So once you died, it would automatically switch to the sniper mode when you're using the shotgun. That I had a problem with, which is good they fixed that. But they also adjusted damage to the shotgun mode to reduce the overall lethal range, which is very important that they did. Obviously, it's good that they did that, but you're not going to be getting as many kills at range with this thing. Now, hence, you can get multiple shots out very quickly, so I don't know how much this nerf is really going to affect the damage on this thing, because you can put out like 6 shots super quick, and I don't know if that's going to really affect this lethal range distance. But we're going to try all these weapons out again, like I said, in multiple different videos. Try them out, see what we can do with each of them, see how these patches affected the weapons and all that good stuff. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you did, drop a like. If you guys are new, don't forget that subscribe button. Let me know what you guys are most hyped for in this patch, I should say. I know a lot of people wanted the Thunderstruck and the Jaeger both nerfed, so there it is, man. They finally nerfed both those weapons. Did a little bit fixing with some other weapons, which I'm kind of surprised about because you didn't hear too much about those. But yeah, if you guys enjoyed, drop a like. If you guys are new, don't forget that subscribe button, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace. If you guys have already subscribed to the channel and have not hit the notification bell, click that little bell. It'll notify you every time I post a video and or go live. Join the notification gang. Be the first in the streams, first in the comments, all that, first to like a video, all that good stuff, man. I'd greatly appreciate it if you guys did that. Also, a lot of people asked how to get in contact with me. Twitter is usually the best way. I'm always on Twitter, so if you guys don't follow me on there, at FuRyTV, I'll also leave the link in the description down below. A lot of people asked to, you know, talk to me or ask me questions, all that good stuff. Comments are a good way, but I'm usually always on Twitter. It's probably the fastest way to get a response from me. I'll like, comment, whatever, respond to your tweets, all that good stuff. So that's probably the best way. Go follow me on Twitter at FuRyTV, like I said. And yeah, I just want to say thanks for all the support, guys. You guys have been killing it on the recent videos. Everyone's commenting, liking, all that good stuff. And also, if you guys do like in like the first 10 or first 5 of the video going up, or you're first in the stream or whatever, want me to follow you on Twitter, tweet me a picture of you getting the first like. That'll probably be the quickest easiest way, I'll just hit you guys with that follow on Twitter. So if you guys do get the first like on a video, first like on a stream, whatever, I will follow you guys on Twitter. Just send me a picture on there and I will hit you guys with the follow. But yeah, thanks for all the support, guys, and I'll see you guys next time.